What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Friday. Hey, we got high school football, so technically this is a football Friday, right? August 18th, 2023. Let's get it going here. You know what we're talking about. We're winding up to the season. If you're not excited for this football season, I don't know what to tell you. This is going to be a huge one. Every season is huge for the Buckeyes, but this one, we're talking national title hopes and dreams, right? So please answer in the chat. I pinned the question up at the top for you. Can this 2023 Ohio State team win a national championship? That's the question. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, yes or no, whatever works for you. But I'm going to get into it here. Oh, the old lady took me out to lunch today. Believe that shit? Oh, it's awesome. Had a couple cocktails, so if I'm a little fruitier than normal, I apologize. But it is a Friday, so I'm always a little loopy on a Friday, I think. Friday night, and I need a fight. My motorcycle and a switchblade knife. All you Motley Crue fans, you're welcome. All right. Let me lay this topic out. I think this is another one of those seasons. It's championship or bust. Every year is, in my opinion. But this season really, really is because of the strength of this 2021 class, recruiting class that came in. And a lot of these guys are now, third-year dudes, been in the program, developed and everything, and it's time for them to produce. So let's start off with the Buckeye schedule real quick. Strength of schedule, we're 27th in the country. Respectable. We're usually in the top 30 to 35 at the lowest. We are not anywhere near the dregs of the Michigans and your Georgias, down there in the 60s and stuff. So it's a tough schedule. Bama's 8th, so they're in for a tough season. But so we got a decently tough schedule, I would say. Notre Dame probably adds a little to that. Obviously, Penn State, Michigan, of course. So, but returning production. Now, this is one thing that we're actually losing, and we're in a huge deficit when we talk returning production. Ohio State is at 67% returning production. That's 48th in the country. On offense, we are at 57%. So 97th in the country in returning offensive production. And then on defense, we're at 77%, 20th nationally. So kind of a little bit of an imbalance there. The defense is actually in a better shape than the offense as far as experience coming back and production. Obviously losing CJ, JSN, those guys, and then the tackles and the center to the NFL, that's going to take down our offensive ranking. But I just wanted to lay that out so like,
hey Joe, real quick,
Sean
here,
from.
I got in. When you're
saying
saying offensive,
hold on.
Oh,
I didn't know you were coming on.
I didn't know I was either.
Sean's joining us, everybody.
Hey,
right. So what's happening, Sean?
Oh, not too much. Just it's Friday.
Yeah.
Let's go. I've been listening to you for the last couple minutes. Missed some things.
Oh, so you caught my karaoke then, didn't you?
No, I missed that. But I just heard. Again. I'm good. Right. But what I'm looking for is you're talking about the production, offensive production, defensive production. So I don't know what that means necessarily. So you're talking about old linemen. How do you grade that production? Just by their number of starts and number of stuff, like
snaps.
When I think of production, I'm thinking of quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight ends, guys that are the guys that are getting the yards, scoring the touchdowns.
Right.
So you're telling me that the number that you're reading off is actually just plays, percentage of play time they were on the field. Okay.
Right. Yep. So yeah, that's why you include linemen, same on defense, you include the D line, linebackers.
Well, I
safeties,
didn't know if
whatever.
they said, okay, it's we've got 80% of our sacks back. We've got 60% of the people that made tackles last year. I just don't know how. I hear those numbers.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily know what they mean in depth.
yeah, right. I have the S&P Plus. Do you like those rankings? Bill Connolly from ESPN does those.
Oh, I'm not saying I dislike. I don't dislike any of the rankings. I
Okay.
like to understand them better, so I know what the hell I'm
Yeah.
talking about. You just explained it well, I think. So I'm
Okay.
good with it. I just no, just
Yeah.
I think me and the listening audience, you hear that, it's like, okay, well, what does it actually mean? You explained
Yeah.
it, so we're good.
Yeah. Well, the S&P Plus actually has a top 10 here. Might put it in perspective for you. So, you know, how we compare to the rest of the country. So the S&P Plus is a combination of your offensive production, defensive production, strength of schedules. It's a whole formula that he puts
Mm-hmm.
together. So Georgia's number one in the country. Their total rating is a 29.2. Ohio State is a 29.0. Michigan is a 28.6. Bama 28.1. And then a huge drop off to LSU 23.3. So the top four are really all that matter, right? In this discussion. That's the way it seems to me. So we're asking the question, can this 2023 Ohio State team win a national championship? And like I mentioned in the intro, I put a lot of it on the backs of that 2021 recruiting class. Those guys are all third-year dudes. They've been coached up, developed.
Off the top of my head, who are the
system.
2021s? JT and
Kyle McCord, Travion, Evan Pryor, Egbuka, Harrison, O-line, you got Donovan Jackson, Josh Simmons technically is a 2021 guy, JT, Jack, yep, and Mike Hall, Tyleek Williams, Denzel Burke, Jordan Hancock. So basically, most of them are starters, you know.
damn, that's some dudes.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, that's the class, and to me, it's different for different schools. Like Ohio State, this is when those guys need to be the absolute studs. You know, all Americans, all Big Tens. Like that's when they need to be their best. Is that third year? Some other programs, smaller programs, they usually have older guys. You know, it's the fourth year. They need to be when they have their good years, like a Michigan State. Michigan State isn't going to do real well with a bunch of third year guys. They need a bunch of 4 and 5 year seniors, guys that have been in the programs, and they can put together, you know, maybe a little magical run, but it's not sustainable. And I think your big time programs, that's the world we live in. The third year guys, you got to do it. That's your year.
Yeah. Yeah, eventually, sometimes you'll get a freshman or a sophomore that really pops, you know.
Oh, of course.
Like we had Travion, you know, back in 2021, he really popped. Who's going to pop this year for us is a great question, and we can speculate about that too. But I have a list of questions about this team that need to be answered. Obviously, number one, quarterback. I assume we have a decision coming Monday or Tuesday from Ryan Day. I'm not sure which day his press conferences. They've kind of moved him around a little bit. So
I just want to say kudos. I just want to say kudos to myself on that. This is a serious competition, and Brown has that. I've been calling for this since 6 months, and I knew it'd be close. And that Devin Brown is for real. And you know, back when it was, oh fuck no, it was everyone's giving it to McCord. I challenged that from the get. So I'm patting myself on the back on this Friday. Pour a drink.
Nice. All right. Don't pull your shoulder out. So yeah, a decision has to be coming soon this week. Otherwise, we're in like that no man's land if we don't get a decision here.
Do you think he goes into the season though and sees how these guys put it on the field?
I can't see that. I've never seen Ryan Day put a 2 quarterback system out there. Herb did it horribly, flamed it in dramatic style. So I can't see Ryan Day doing that. I think worst case scenario, the guy that you put out there and you make your decision on Monday, he flames out badly in the first 3 weeks. Not that we're playing anybody. So again, I talked about this in I think it was Wednesday's show, that we were debating, maybe give each guy a game, in the first couple of weeks. But I'm saying, what are you going to learn against freaking Indiana or Western Kentucky or even Youngstown? I think you're learning more when you're making this decision against an elevated defense, like in a scrimmage, when you're going against the Ohio State defense.
But there's other things that you can kind of pick up on, I think, leadership and just game day things and decisions. I mean, and if this competition is as close as I believe it to be, as close as they're projecting that it is, that it's anyone's to win at this point, then I got to imagine the leash will be a little bit shorter. Like last year with Stroud, the leash was long. I mean, if Stroud had a shitty game, they're not pulling him and putting in someone else. But say McCord or Devin Brown go out there, start the first game, throw for 50% completion rate, 3 picks and a touchdown. Does he get yanked early?
Right. Yeah, that's the question. That is, I could see that playing out before a 2 quarterback system, a 2 quarterback plan, whether it's like the Michigan plan last year where they each got a full game, early in the season, or if it's a half, whatever. I don't see Ryan Day doing that. I think worst case scenario, he just yanks one out, whoever the starter is, if he's shitting himself that badly,
But you also, and I think Ryan Day's kind of a big proponent of it. He wants you to be confident. He didn't want to get in your head. He's a lot about the mental, I think, of it. Yeah. And that's why I think you're right that he doesn't like to carry 2. It's like you're always looking over your shoulder. I think once he picks one, he's going to want to stick with it. But again, if it's that close, where's his head at? Where would he make a move like that? And maybe it's just a real-time thing. Maybe it's not on paper. It's like, you know what? I'll know I have to pull him when I see it. If it's getting that bad, then I'll pull him, but I'm not just going to do it. He doesn't have to worry about me doing it if he's out there and makes a mistake. Don't get worried. You're not getting pulled. Everyone makes mistakes.
Right. And then that's what hurt JT and Cardale in 2015, right? I mean, they're both looking over their shoulder.
I think it almost, unless you've got like really 2 really different guys, like, one's a running quarterback, one's got the arm, and they're really diverse. I think it can kind of work then, Tebow and, some of the other things that have gone that way. We tried it with Dippy. What's his name when we bring him in a few years ago? That didn't work for us, but I can see something like that. Hey, it's a different package. Defense screws them up. They got to prepare for it. But 2 of the same guys just to run your standard offense. No, I'm with you. That ain't cool.
Right.
Michigan did it, and well, they fucking beat us doing it, actually, cocksuckers.
Then other questions I have about this team. It's not just the quarterback, obviously. I mean, we got 2 new tackles. The left tackle, Josh Simmons, has never played left tackle at any level. We just learned that last week. Josh Fryer, I feel fine with at right, but he's only started like 1 game. Then at center, you got a second-year guy seemingly taking over that position, Carson Hinsman. That's somewhat concerning. Never started a game. So that O-line is a big question mark too, right? How do you feel about this?
It's a huge question mark right now, but I feel like there's enough dudes. I don't know. I'm confused by it all. It's coach speak, and you hear about these new guys that are probably coming in and getting spots. It's like, why aren't our guys in there? So there's 2 things that are happening. The guys that we had aren't that good, or these guys that came in are really good. And now we've got some depth with Simmons. I mean, they talk really, they're high on that dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's very athletic. He's got all the traits that you want. But he played at San Diego State last year, and he played right tackle. Again, never played left tackle. Definitely never played at this level. So that's a big concern. And like I mentioned, the center, Carson Hinsman, second guy. So let's see what happens there. But that whole O-line has to come together in just a couple of weeks. I'm talking communication, just trust, knowing the guy next to you is going to be there. That takes a lot of time to become a cohesive unit.
It does, but I heard the other day they were really going to make a focus on fundamentals, and it starts there. And if you're fundamentally doing it, then everything right. And I think like that's maybe what they're pushing at. Everybody do your job, do it right, back to fundamentals, and it just works. And then you figure out if you're doing everything right fundamentally, then I feel like you're going to gel quicker. It's consistent. That's what you need to be. You just need to be consistent, right? I think that's the issue with the quarterbacks. He's like, I just need consistency here.
Yeah, that's every position. That's what the position coaches preach. Not only playing at a high level, but then consistently maintaining that high level,
Right.
Snap in, snap out. My other questions are on the defense. I mean, we've got a lot of inconsistency issues there. D tackle, D ends, all across the front line. Honestly, I mean, we've seen flashes of Mike Hall, dominating a game from up the middle. Tyleek, same, but Mike Hall injured most of the year last year. Tyleek, not in shape, not in great shape at all. So effort becomes a bit of an issue there from what we see. Then the ends, JT, awesome game against Penn State. Probably would not have won that game without him. But where was he against Michigan and Georgia? He did not grade out well against the run or the pass in those games. Seemingly did not play if you look at the stat sheet. So I'm seriously concerned about that front four. Now you got Jack moving back down to DN. That calms some of my concerns that we're maybe doing less Jack, the Jack position. So that makes me feel a little better having Jack full time, but still consistency across the board on that front four. What do you think of that?
I actually am super excited about the defense. I think it is going to be so nasty. I mean, I look at other good defenses in the Big Ten or whatever. I look at Michigan's, and I don't know their roster that intimately, but I mean, of Michigan's roster, and Michigan puts out a good defense every year. How many of those guys would start at Ohio State? 2, 3? I mean, so we got the dudes. I'm not worried about the dudes. Another year in the scheme, which I know is a little complicated. And then all the dudes we got and Styles and like you said, some of these third year guys, it's like, it's time.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to make that step. And I think we're going to have Mike RD's going to be as good or better than it's been in a while. Sure. I think this will be Ryan Day's best defense.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. It's just we haven't really seen a top 5 defense for a while, But that's my expectation, though. It's a top 5 defense. And who's the second cornerback? Is that Hancock? Is that Igbinosun? Is it a rotation there? I mean, I think Denzel's probably going to get the bulk of the snaps at his corner position. So he's your CB1. Who's CB2 though? Well, Hancock, we only saw for like 5 or 6 games last year. He was out.
But I'm happy with either one of them. I think both studs. Okay. I think both high ceilings.
Yeah.
And both have the potential to be better than Burke. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Safeties, I don't have a lot of concerns because Ransom's played a ton. Jahad Carter probably will be a starter. And he's played a ton, not at Ohio State, but at Syracuse. And then Styles, I have to assume if he's a starter that he knows the defense in and out and knows his role, his job, responsibility on every play. So if he's a starter and is in there every play, I'm not concerned. So I assume he can handle it. So the back end,
I love
less
the depth.
concern. Yeah,
I agree.
Exactly. And the last question mark I have for this 2023 team is Hartline as the offensive coordinator. We kind of forget about that sometimes. How's that going to look?
So I don't know if I didn't see it or out of context or something, but I saw something with was Heartline talking, or maybe it was Day. I can't remember which one, but it sounded a little hesitant, like he was taking over. I feel like he's assistant athletic director. Like Day's still kind of running that thing,
Yeah.
and like I feel like he's mentoring Heartline at this point into that
Yeah.
role, and it's still gonna. It's a process. I don't think he's got full control like Wilson would have had or something like that. He's not trusted to
Yeah.
that level in the play calling and schemes
Yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah. Wilson obviously probably had more Brian Day's respect, I guess, because of Wilson's long career, doing the job. So I would imagine Kevin Wilson probably got more leash, or at least more autonomy or whatever, but Brian Day was still ultimately calling the plays last year. I think, this could be a hand-holding situation, at least this first year, with Heartline today, data Heartline. So, I want to see what that's going to look like on the field and who is actually calling the plays, because we can see that on TV, I think, so how that plays out is one of my big questions.
That's not it's not sexy to talk about, but that's probably the biggest question on the whole of all your questions.
Yeah.
Is how that works.
I know that they all have the same play sheet, and when it's 3rd and 7 or whatever, they have the same list of plays. It's just a matter of picking one, but there is an art form to it. I think Ryan Day showed that against Georgia last year, that you can set up plays with other plays and take advantage of what the defense saw previously and motion a guy over here just to throw them off the scent of what's happening over there, so I think there's an art form to it, and hopefully Heartline can get his feet under him with these first 3 games, let's hit the chat though. We got who's in here? Oh, first in is Ryan Day's beard, Sean.
Nice.
Yeah. He gives a thumbs up to the question, can Ohio State win a national championship in 2023? Ryan Day's beard says yes. He asked the question, how do you think they actually stand up to Michigan? If you ask them, they're going to just blow us out and be done with it. Well, yeah, I would expect that from a Michigan person, but Sean, what do you think? How do you think we stack up against Michigan?
Look, we got more talent than Michigan. We got better everything than Michigan, except maybe a quarterback at this point. We'll see. To me, this is a intestinal fortitude challenge against Michigan. Michigan has, in their minds, whether you think and the stats prove it different, on Michigan whipped us last 2 years. One would, whatever, how it played out, but 3 touchdown wins are whippings. I don't care how you slice it. And they're up here and they call us light and they this. And I feel like Ohio State needs to have this chip on their shoulder and fucking control that line of scrimmage. If they get pushed around again, and I don't feel like it's in our guys. I feel like they are taking it personal, being called soft and this and that from those fucking clowns that wouldn't play us in 2020. Right. And that's where it all lies. I told you. I mean, right now I'd probably favor Michigan a little bit in that game, but our guys can do this. We got the dudes. They haven't done it in the last 2 years, and I feel like in those games we did lose the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and that's where it's won.
Yeah. I kind of disagree, especially in the 2022 game. 2021. Yeah, I don't buy softs. There's a big difference between soft and getting beat at the line of scrimmage. I would dare anybody to walk into the Woody during mat drills in January and call any of those guys soft. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that they're soft at all. But last year they did not get pushed around to the line of scrimmage. The big plays were mostly out in space, and the running plays were guys filling the wrong gap, not just getting beat at the point of attack.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Is there any game where Ohio State won by more than 3 touchdowns that you don't think we whipped their ass? They whipped our ass.
Yeah, they scored on big plays. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we didn't get pushed around, beating the trenches or something like
Right.
that.
I mean, I actually, outside of like 5 plays, I think we kind of dominated in that game.
Yeah. Yeah. CJ had a big day. But again, we didn't have a running back that was healthy. It was
True.
a lot of things, defense
It
was
is,
not.
but regardless of that, and I mean the game, whatever, I'm telling you, the mind and that, I don't know. I don't know if the guys in on the program at Michigan think that, but everybody, even the radio host, like, Michigan broke Ohio State. Ohio State's soft. They can't. Michigan Harbaugh plays man ball. Ohio State can't play that with them.
Right.
They got a bunch of fancy 5-star boys that are pampered.
Yeah,
and that's where it comes from. That's the narrative up here.
sure. Yeah, I'm not surprised, and I hear that. I don't know. It's a bunch of crap. I mean,
It is. I wanted to call Valenti. He was like, Michigan broke Ohio State. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? I mean,
that's the other thing is, we see these Michigan fans with the very short-term memory, where they only remember the last 2 games, not the previous 18 to 20.
I know.
We got some comments here, though. I wanted to get to Billy. He says, make JJ pass will be the key to beating Michigan. Yeah. Yeah. Ryan Daysbeard says, how do you feel if Devin Brown wins the job? I feel fine. It doesn't bother me. John's fine with it too, I assume, right?
I'm fine with either one winning it.
Yeah.
I think that,
I trust Ryan Day's opinion. I mean, he's seeing practice, not us.
Exactly. And if it's that close, I think they both can do a great job, and I'm glad we got 2.
Billy says, I'll feel good about whomever Day decides should be out there. It's right here, same Billy. Anthony Williams, what's up, Anthony? He says, I think Devin Brown won the job. Okay. Just a guess, really. Ryan Daysbeard, I do too, just a guess. Billy asks, what makes you guys say that? Badass Buckeye popped in, says, can't
what
stay.
What makes me say what? That Brown?
Yeah, he's asking the other guys in the chat what makes them say Devin Brown won the job already. These guys are just guessing. They don't know anything. Well,
I don't think he's won the job, but he definitely has grabbed his opportunity to make it to be. I mean, most people didn't think it'd be that. It's like, okay, McCord's our guy, and that's moving on.
Yeah. And
that's not the case. So I don't know if he's won the job, but he became relevant.
Ryan Daysbeard said the reason why he thinks that is because Ryan's comments in his presser. He said he wanted a guy who played the last play against Georgia like CJ. CJ ran the last drive. That screams Brown because he's dual threat. Okay.
McCord's not a bum.
Reason for me.
McCord's not a bum in that regard running, though, is he?
No. Go watch his highlight tape, guys, from high school. Billy Tuesday says, I get it. Have a good weekend. Ryan Daysbeard says McCord also has been in the system. How does he not grab the job with the experience?
Exactly.
Yeah, right. And Brown being hurt and still in the competition. Well, they didn't just stop the competition because Brown got hurt in spring. I mean, you couldn't do that. It was not a serious injury like a broken bone.
No, but you're going to come out and you're going to be so far ahead. You did all spring. You were the guy that was going in last year. I mean, to me, 95% of the time, you're going to be the guy. And that it's still open and you're not I agree with these guys. It's a big question mark. And it's not that McCord's bad. Maybe Devin Brown's that good.
Yeah.
Devin Brown, I tell you, he gives me Joey B vibes.
Okay. Billy says Taiwan Malone could be a beast. I agree. He's definitely going to add some depth. I assume he's not going to be a starter, but he'll get in there. You got to rotate those tackles. Ryan Daysbeard says Sonny Styles. I'm excited for him. Billy says I worry about Hartline being a pass-heavy play caller like Day is often.
Oh, highlight his boys. Yeah, that's a great point. I never thought about that.
I think if you're going to be a good,
Yeah, but where has Hartline got the chops? He's been a great wide receivers coach, and he brings in the best wide receivers in the country year after year after year. And if he's like, look, guys, I'm feeding you this, you're going to have your opportunities and promote yourself. I can, that's a concern. Whether Hartline even knows he's doing it or not, subconsciously, I think you're trying to promote your guys. He has to get out of he's the wide receiver coach and get into that OC, and like they're all your guys, and it all has
Yeah.
to work. But I think there's a risk that he could feather towards the receivers. I mean, not that Ryan Day already doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. He could overcompensate though in the other direction too. Be aware that people are going to be judging him as a pass heavy OC and then run the ball more just to show people he's not pass heavy. It could go either direction. I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm not too worried about.
I don't think Dave's going to let it get too far out of the.
No, I'm not too concerned
whatever
about
it
that.
is.
Yeah. Yakov 22 in the chat says Edric Houston is committing on the same day as my colonoscopy. I hope it'll be a good trade-off for me. That's awesome. Yeah, I hope it's a good. Is there anything that you could do to make it more pleasurable for the doctor?
Did you already say this, or has it been decided? Is Hartline going to be in the box or on the sideline?
That's not decided. No. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
I feel like he's got a vibe where I think he's valuable on the sideline. The energy, it's part of his value to me.
Right. Somebody else would have to manage the wide receivers on the field if he goes upstairs. It could be Keenan Bailey, the tight ends coach. It'd have to be an assistant. Ryan Day can't mess around with the receivers, but
no.
Jeremiah Yoder's in the chat. He says, I say this 2023 Buckeyes football team can win the national championship. Thumbs up, 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 up. Let's go Buckeyes. Our defense keeps the opponent out of the end zone. Ohio State will win.
I agree. If we get high quality quarterback play, yeah, we can absolutely win this. And maybe it doesn't even need to be the highest if this D shows up and does what I think it can do. But if you can get a Stroud type season, really high level, yeah, with a defense backing you up in a running game. I mean, with all those running backs, how can we better run the ball this year? Easily.
Yeah. I
think, can't cheat on us. We got Marvin and Mecca. You can't cheat on us.
Right. I think the defense, though, I agree with everybody's comments on the defense. The defense is going to be called upon in a game or two this year at some point to go out and get freaking stops in the fourth quarter. Keep the other team out of the end zone in the fourth and win the ball game. It hasn't happened in a long time. We haven't seen a defense actually win the game for us. They've actually lost games for us in the fourth quarter. So it's going to have to happen. And I think in order for us to win a national championship, that defense is going to be called upon. Anthony Williams in the chat. He says Harbaugh is 2-6 against Ohio State. They act like he's 6-2. Exactly. He also says Jim Knowles not turning into Don Brown 2.0. We beat Michigan. I love it. He also says, I'm going with either quarterback. I'm a Buckeye fan. That's the key right there.
Well, of course.
Yeah. But there is a contingent. I've seen a contingent of fans in the comments and on Twitter that are like, love one guy, hate the other. It's black and white. It's there's no liking the other guy. It's you choose one guy, you're ride or die with that guy, and fuck the other guy. And it's just
but you're not going to bail on the team for that. I mean, I'll go back to me at Burrow Haskins. I went to the spring game. I thought Burrow was definitely our quarterback and was pissed off at that move. But as soon as he's gone, I don't give a shit. Haskins is my guy. Go Buckeyes.
Yeah. Billy says 2 victories against us is all Harbaugh has to on his resume in 8 years. Anthony says, I think Aaron Nolan starts day one. Are you talking like freshman year, day one?
Oh, Aaron Nolan?
Yeah.
I
That's what
hear
Anthony
good
Williams
things
says.
about that Kindholz.
Yeah, definitely. And he just got an NIL deal with some kind of underwear brand. Ryan Day's Beard says we have to run the ball with that depth, more balanced offense, please. Yes, I'm with you there. Billy, yes, Aaron Nolan is on ESPN2 today at 6 Eastern.
Ooh.
ESPN2, The Deuce.
Does YouTube TV carry that?
Oh, yeah, it should be on there.
Nice. Might watch it.
Yeah, they're playing Carrollton. That's a pretty big matchup. There's a bunch of big games on ESPN this week and next week.
I think you got Tevin Columbian versus Fremont Ross, two powerhouses northwest Ohio, right? Bishop Sycamore gets on there.
Yeah. Send Channel 3 from Toledo down there or something. That reminds me, Bishop Sycamore documentary is coming up on HBO soon. I think it's this coming week, maybe.
One of the dads of the football players on our team, he showed up at practice. He's got a Bishop Sycamore T-shirt.
It's awesome. Yeah. Then
that was hilarious.
The Johnny Football documentary was on Netflix this past week. I watched that. That's pretty good. Not a lot of enlightening info there, though. Then you got Swamp Kings, the Florida Gators, Urban Meyer documentary coming out. It's like the last week of August on Netflix. So MCU Drew says TOSU natty incoming, bitches. Love it. Jeremiah says this Buckeyes defense needs to play hard-nosed, smash-mouth Ohio State defense, coming up with superb fourth quarter defense, getting that win in the fourth quarter. Exactly. I'm with you, Jeremiah. In the fourth quarter.
And I actually believe also that it could play out, heaven forbid, but it could play out where we lose to Michigan the end of the year and then win the natty. And not even us beating them in the playoffs, but anybody they play in the playoffs. Because Harbaugh's like 1-8 or he's bad postseason. He's not good.
Yeah.
And just like that, we damn near did it this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're going to let a shitty TCU sneak in this year. There's going to be better teams than that, I'm guessing. Where Michigan isn't going to get a cupcake. They're going to face up Alabama or Georgia. It's going to kick their ass as usual.
Yeah. Ryan Day's Beard asks, do you think Harbaugh will get punished next year since he wasn't this offseason? What do you think, Sean?
I don't know.
If he's still in college football?
Well, I told you my thought on that is this is Harbaugh's year. His team is pretty loaded, and most of them are going to be gone. And I think next year is going to be unless he really works that portal and NIL, next year is not looking up for them. And if he goes next year, in his mind, is he thinking, oh, okay, I can go from national championship to like 8-4 next year.
Right.
And then the haters are going to come out again. Harbaugh sucks and that. And I just got a feeling he might ride off to the sunset because it's taking him a while to put this team together. He's probably going in the tank next year. Their recruiting's not doing as good as what they've done the last 2 years. They don't have that juice to get all these dudes. And he's just a weird dude. I think he bails. I think he bails. This is his last year. Like, I'm done.
Yeah. It would be very convenient. We saw this from Pete Carroll, where are they at here in the rankings? Oh, their average per player is dipped 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18th in the country now. They were up in the top 10. 27 commits, but their average per player is 90.44. They're down
on
there
team
with
on the team that went back-to-back Big Ten championships and 2 playoff appearances.
Yeah.
Nobody likes them.
Did those Smith boys flip yet? Because this might not
Uh,
include that.
Yesterday they had, I was on there yesterday and they hadn't.
Yeah, this has 27 commits. I think they definitely haven't yet.
Yeah, they
For
haven't
sure.
yet.
So that's going to dip a little further because those
You
guys are
think
four
so? I
stars.
mean, or is that just rumor? You're gonna go to Kentucky? Well, I mean, I guess you're in the SEC, but Kentucky, are they from
I don't know.
Kentucky? Oh, they're from Connecticut or something.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that Michigan recruiting is just taking a nosedive, man. They're down there with like Oklahoma and Arkansas and Miami, UCLA, UCF, and
I
their
mean,
pro
you're
players.
you're a blue blood powerhouse.
Yeah,
One of the top all time teams. You just went two championships and all this, and your classes are like average player rankings, like 16th and stuff. Now, if you go on a
right.
Michigan board, I'm sure they're going to tell you, well, we've got the best recruiters and we develop guys better.
Yeah,
Who needs those guys? Our 3 stars are better than your 5. Okay.
yeah. Ryan
Um,
Day's beard says they're moving to Kentucky is the rumor. I think he means the Smith guys.
I'd love to see it. As soon as I find out, I'll be over to MGO blog. Actually, I'll wait a few hours so the comments can pile up, but
Yeah,
that is definitely something I will go look at because
yeah,
they love them now, and as soon as they do it, they'll be like, they weren't our type of guys. We didn't want them. It's such a joke over there.
yeah. Ray, what's up, Ray? Ray gives us a thumbs up on the national championship Buckeyes this year. Odysseus
Hmm.
2002 back in here. Appreciate you, Odysseus. Good to see you. If the O-line gets it together, he says yes. Beat the team up north and start a new streak. Billy said, I didn't see Buford on that high school TV slate, Joe. I would have thought they'd want to show Raiola. Yeah, you'd think that Ravioli would get some airtime, right?
I feel like the
But
kid's a
apparently,
douche. I mean, here I
oh, he's
am
such a douche.
I'm only saying that, I'm sounding like the Michigan guys. Oh, we didn't want him. No, we wanted him, but he's just
Yeah.
goofy. And I still want him. I wish we had him, but gosh, these
He's a
kids
flake. I mean,
Like
somebody that
Ewers
transfers.
is just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in their
Somebody.
heads. I don't know what's going on in their shit, but it gets so weird with some of these kids.
Yeah.
Would you say it's his fourth high school? I know some
Yeah.
kids up here that transfer all the time, and and everybody, all their teammates are like fucking weird as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a good look if nothing else, you know,
Like
if
whatever
you're
way the wind's blowing, he's going. I don't feel like he buys into
yeah.
anything except himself. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm the guy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. How do you
that ain't how
establish
you win.
yourself with your teammates if you're constantly changing teammates? You know,
I know
I don't
how
know
can
how
you even develop leadership things? I
exactly.
mean,
Yeah. Just because you pop into the locker room and you're a senior suddenly, you're supposed to be a leader, you know, I don't know. You got to kind of earn that.
and again, just
Yep.
like the old Ohio State thing, when you get in there, they're like, "Oh, how many start? What was your ranking?" Yeah, no one gives a shit. So
Yeah.
you're nobody in here. I know everybody loves you out there, and you're this great high school quarterback, but it changes because he's obviously going to go to a big program.
Yeah.
He's going to Georgia, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The conspiracy theorist rumor is that Kirby Smart had him transfer into Buford so he could work on recruiting like guys like Edric Houston and KJ Bolden and all that. And it doesn't seem to have worked yet.
I don't know. Are we in on any of those guys yet?
Edric Houston, yeah, definitely. It's between us and Bama.
Georgia's not
KJ
even in on
Bolden,
it.
no. Those Buford kids go elsewhere, man. I don't know why it is. I've heard different rumors about, Kirby
Who was our
versus,
first Buford kid? Von Bell?
oh boy,
Was he?
no.
Was he?
Uh, that's a good question.
Kind of amazing the amount of dudes they put out over the years for being a public high school. What's
Yeah,
in the water around there?
exactly. Oh yeah, Harry Miller is the last one from there.
No, who was the first one?
Oh boy, was Roby from there? That might have been Sewanee. I always get those mixed up. I'm not sure. Let's see. Odysseus.
But I know we've had like
says-
5 or 6 guys from there. Bam and George and everybody else is
Right.
getting kids.
Right. Odysseus says we don't care for the whole state of Michigan. That's true. Matthew Miller, what's up? Good to see you, Matthew. He says, let's go D23, hold it down. There you go. Ryan Days Beard said, whatever happened to Jaden Davis, quote, stealing all of Ohio State's recruits, as he stated when he committed to Michigan. Yeah, that guy's taking a fucking nosedive in his rankings too.
Is that the running back?
No, the quarterback.
Oh yeah. Well, the
Jaden
running
Davis
back and the
from-
quarterback were so awesome that Michigan got him, and
Yeah.
I was down for a minute, and then
Yeah.
like 2 days later, boom, yeah, we got a guy better.
Yeah, exactly. Odysseus says Raiola going to transfer once Kirby starts someone else. Yeah. Odysseus says heard Jaden Davis flip smoke. Okay. So maybe Davis is looking elsewhere. Yeah, Billy asks the question, will he win the locker room in Buford, or will the other players resent him? Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking.
I don't know. I don't know his work ethic. If you're a hard worker and you're out there, but if you're out there and you think you're, big time all shit.
Can you get that in one fall camp though, of like 4 or 5 weeks of practice? I don't know. So Clemson seems to be the possible flip, what I'm seeing here in the chat for Davis, Jaden Davis.
I don't know. The way things are going right now, I mean, Clemson's probably safe, but I wouldn't go to any school if I'm a big time athlete that is not Big Ten or SEC. No way am I going to ACC or anywhere else, because you might get left out in the cold. And obviously you can transfer if you're good enough, but still, why do that?
Yeah. Jeremiah says, who would want to play for the Maize and Pooh? Play for Coach Doucheball? Yeah. Well, we went a little bit over today. Henry, anything else you want to close it out with?
No, I think I covered it.
Okay. Sunday night, make sure you guys join us for the YouTube Live, 8 p.m. Eastern. Me, Jeff, and Sean are going to be hitting it. We're going to be doing prediction time. We are predicting the scores every Ohio State regular season game this season. So all 12. We'll do some quick breakdowns of each game, not an in-depth thing, but just touch on the upcoming opponents and stuff like that. That's about all I got. Make sure you hit like. We got almost 30 some people in here. Please hit like. I'd love to get 30 likes for this video. Appreciate that. A little quiet for a Friday. Usually we do about double this. So maybe everybody should hit like twice. So I got for you. Talk to you guys Daily Blitz tomorrow, and we'll talk to you Sunday. Sean, appreciate you for joining.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
That's right. Talk to you guys later. Go Bucks.
Peace.